TV too?
On Facebook.
Oh, shit.
On
No,
not
YouTube.
Facebook, YouTube.
I wish you would have told me. I
Why?
would have dressed up a little bit. You
Why?
said radio.
Oh, well,
Radio
Oh my
nowadays,
gosh. I'm
Irma,
gonna kill you.
Irma, you look pretty anyway.
Please.
You know, I'm gonna make sure that you look pretty, even if you're not.
Yes.
well, you'll have to
According to Clark's
introduce
girlfriend.
everybody.
Oh, you know who his girlfriend is?
Go.
Didi.
Right. Go.
Hello, Las Vegas. This is Rolando Larraz on Face the Tribune. Remember, if you don't have anything to worry about, you can face the Tribune. But if you don't, we're gonna go after you. With me today, of course, my co-host, Mr. Producer Clark Philly, and I have the honor and the prestige to have here today my dear old friend, well, not old, but my dear friend, Irma Aguirre, the owner and operator of the Sombrero Restaurant.
El Sombrero Mexican Bistro on Main
Bistro,
Street.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me. We're a little,
What
we're a little fancy.
a little more fancy,
Yeah, a
right?
little bit.
Okay, you used to be active with the Republican Party, right?
Yes, I was. I was actually finance director for the state party, for the Nevada Republican Party. And I also served as a Hispanic outreach director for the Nevada Republican Party as well. I was also the volunteer director supervisor for under Bush Cheney.
On the who?
On the Bush Cheney campaign.
Oh, really? And how long ago was that? Well,
Well,
Bush Cheney
Bush
wasn't that long.
Well, that was in 2008,
2008,
right?
yeah. And why do you skip all that? Why do you seclude yourself out of there? That's because
Out of the political world?
Your new relationship, romantic relationship,
No.
because he is very active.
Well, actually, you know, when you work very deeply within any political campaign, you know, after a while, it does wear on you. You do get a little bit burnt out. So, you know, I just decided to take a break and follow my other passion besides politics, that of the restaurant world. And so I've had 3 restaurants since then, and so that's what I've been doing.
And I had to ask you this question because it's very important. Because why are you smiling in that way, Mr. Producer?
I'm just wondering if she considers herself part of the entrenched establishment, or is she not? part of
You've
the
been in-
entrenched
Oh, because that's a big thing right now, right?
Exactly.
The
That's-
establishment versus not, and
Right.
You've been a Latina,
Insiders,
The same,
outsiders.
right?
yeah,
Mexican,
I'm of Mexican heritage, correct?
okay? But you are a Republican.
Of course, I've been a Republican ever since I could vote.
So that means you are in favor of Donald Trump?
I am supporting Donald Trump,
I
yes.
thought that the Mexican people don't like Donald Trump.
That's a lie. That's
Not-
part of the Democrat lie.
Well, not all Mexican Americans of Mexican heritage are against Donald Trump. I've met many actually that are supportive.
Wouldn't you
Supportive
say
what?
more than half of the legal people of Mexican heritage that have gone through are now citizens? Don't you think a lot of them support Donald Trump?
You know, I don't know what the recent numbers are. You know, I would have to look at the facts on that. But I mean, just anecdotally, I've met many of Mexican heritage that actually support him.
I know.
You know, they don't
Listen
really
to the
like-
mainstream media. There's nobody, none of them support.
Well, no,
All I guess.
I wouldn't say that that's true. But you know,
That's what
it
they
is.
report.
You know, not all of them care for the language that he has used.
What's that? Where he says, I'm sure some are very good people, but there are some
Well, see,
bad
that's
people.
but see
That's
that's
what he said.
but see that's the thing. in the media, that's not how it was
That's my
portrayed.
point, that's my
And
point. So it's not what he says, it's what he was reported as saying. There's a
Exactly,
big difference,
exactly.
because the media lies. And
Well,
distorts.
I would say. So when I heard that comment, I was actually kind of shocked that everybody was so shocked because I heard his comments and I really felt that he had stepped in it a little bit because I felt that I felt like I knew what he was trying to say, but I don't think he said it in a very refined way. Let's just say I would have put it in a different way. But I was surprised by, the media's reaction, to what he had said because I thought, well, he didn't really say anything that was,
Not true.
not true. I have a different perspective on this though. I was born in a border town, El Paso, Texas. Border,
And this side or in that side?
no, I'm American. I was born in the United States of
Oh.
America. And so I was born in El Paso, and on the other side, you have Juarez, Mexico. And, I still have a lot of family members that live in El Paso. And, for the longest time, over time, we saw a huge difference and transformation of our city of El Paso. You had the narco traffickants, and you had so much crime that did go back and forth. And quite honestly, the majority or a lot of the folks that lived in El Paso of Mexican heritage were quite fed up with that. I mean, we were. And this is not an American Mexican thing. This was more like just a crime thing.
A crime thing, yeah.
So, I didn't feel, people ask me today, well, why do you support Donald Trump? Aren't you offended by what he said? I said, well, no, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a rapist. I'm not what he was talking about,
Right.
And so I didn't take that personally. And that is a legitimate issue that happens, around border towns,
Yeah,
right? You
I
have the
know.
narco
So you're not one of the good ones that he was talking about, you must be one of the bad ones, because you were offended.
Right, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Well, I mean, that's the
quite
response to it,
honestly-
right? I mean, why
But
did
I
you
have
get
the same
offended?
problem. I got the same problem with the Cubans in Miami when the newspaper in the 70s, I don't know, you look younger, but I don't know if you were born.
I was just born. Sorry.
The newspaper said the Cubans have made Miami the Chicago of the 1930s because that's the way it was. There was shooting in the streets. There was crime all over it.
Mhm.
I didn't get offended. Well, I never lived in Miami. I was there for 2 years because I was the only person that speak English and can speak Spanish in our corporation. And we went to open a business over there in Miami, and I didn't like it. I'm a peaceful person. I don't like it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The thing that really irritates me is that, the folks, maybe of Mexican heritage also, that, kind of, that are against what he said, because that to me is really not acknowledging the problem that occurs along the borders, okay? And it's almost as if they are defending more the criminal versus, the good people of Mexican heritage that are, American, that we're hardworking people, educated people, productive people, and that kind of a thing. So why am I going to lump myself into with all of these, criminals, that are going back and forth? I mean, nobody has to tell me about it. I've seen it for myself.
Really?
Yeah, really. We've seen it for ourselves. I mean, I remember my mother, my grandmother, my
You live in
abuela.
those border towns down there in Texas, like she's talking about.
I never been in the border.
Yeah.
I never
You
been.
see it
Oh,
firsthand down
It's
there.
horrendous. So, I mean, I remember, my aunts and my grandmother and my mother, talking about this element that would, cross the border and that kind of a thing that honestly we felt really afraid of because we thought, God, we don't want to be perceived as that type of an individual, that type of, of a Mexican.
And that's one thing that is very common. People have the tendency to generalize.
It's easier.
They don't say some Cubans sell drugs. Like you got that guy from Metro, Tirso Dominguez. Tirso, he didn't know who I was. Shut that thing off. I didn't. He didn't know who I was, and he was talking to the reporter from El Tiempo newspaper, and he said all the Cubans know how to do is to sell cocaine. Well, I took it personal.
Well, that's a different language,
I took
all
it
is
personal.
all.
And luckily enough, I got the undersheriff to apologize. And lucky for the Cuban community, he's no longer with the police department.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'll tell you what, I just feel that it is possible that the reason why they are so focused on that particular thing because they want us, they meaning the media, they want us to be stuck on that subject. Because quite frankly, if we move beyond that subject, we're talking about, and this is why I support him, I just believe that he will be better for this economy. I just don't really have a whole lot of trust that all of a sudden, Hillary Clinton, who's been a career politician, all of a sudden is going to pull rabbits out of her hat and now is going to become this economic genius, and he is, I'm a small business person. I have a lot of respect for those that get out there, they struggle, they risk, they do, and it is not easy to create jobs, and this man has done it for decades. So, my mom always used to tell me, don't listen to what people say, watch what they do. And so I've seen him do that for decades. Now, has he failed here and there? Yes, absolutely. Because you know what? That's what entrepreneurs do. We fail every once in a while. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather have that athlete that's all scuffed up and with, ripped, with a ripped uniform and what have you, and mud all over him versus a clean-cut person, unscathed on the sidelines talking about how they're going to do this and that and the other, and I just really don't have a whole lot of faith in
Well,
that,
Hillary Clinton's own words when they came out of the White House, they weren't only stone cold broke, they were tremendously in debt. So what did the
Well,
Clinton...
she even said it, didn't she?
Yeah,
Didn't
that's
she
what I
say
said, out
that
of her own words,
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
So let's go back to that time when they came out of the White House. Broke as could broke be, and probably $10 million in debt because of their accumulated legal fees over all the legal
you mean
problems.
they could not
that
find
they
a
had.
fence? They can
No,
buy
so I'm
all the
saying-
stuff she took from the White House?
Right, well, they had to bring that back.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they had to bring it back because they got caught, they're stupid.
Oh.
They were taking all the silverware, all the china, they were taking everything of value out of the White House, and they got caught. That's the type of people they are.
I mean, you
They're
can't
schmucks.
make this up, right?
Anyway, so out of her own mouth, they were stone cold broke. Now, I must have missed it. What did Bill or Hillary invent that made all this wealth that
No,
they have now?
It's really
What jobs
incredible.
did they create? What
The
businesses did they-
foundation. The foundation.
Okay, what did that invent? What did that create? What did that produce that people
Money
wanted
for
to
them.
buy?
Money for them.
How many people did that put to work?
They don't care about that.
That's the point.
Oh,
Well, all I know is that when I go to New York,
Chelsea is employed over there.
Yeah, the Clinton Crime Foundation.
she
She gets $1 million
job for
a year.
Chelsea. That's
Yeah,
something.
$1 million
That's
a year.
start. That's a
$1
start.
million a year. How many people out there listening to this show that are thinking of voting for the Clintons, how many of them make $1 million a year?
He stumped you.
Yeah.
That's like people ask Hillary, what has, or they ask people in the street, what has Hillary done? What has she accomplished? And you hear the bird sounds,
Well, let me tell you,
They don't have an
Irma,
answer.
that's the same problem I got with Harvey Reid. When people tell me he have done a lot for Nevada, I said, well, just mention me one. Only one.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear all of them. Just one.
Silence.
and they have no idea what he done for Nevada except enrich himself and his family.
Well, it's really incredible how politicians, they're not wealthy prior to, let's say getting into office, and then they get themselves a congressional or senatorial, job, and then that pays $170,000, and then 4 years later, when they come out, now they're worth $100 million, dollars. I mean, because Harry Reid is worth how much?
Oh,
A lot. So, it is truly incredible. I'm telling you, as a small business owner, every day is a grind, and you fully are aware of what it takes,
just,
the blood, sweat, and tears to make money, what it takes to
And
make
how
money in
it's
this
getting
economy.
harder and harder
And
and
how it's
harder.
getting
And
more
I don't
Because of
care.
more and more
And I
and
don't care
more
how much we bluff.
regulations.
I don't care how much we bluff. Everybody that I know that has a small business, they are jammed. They are busy. They making everything is good. Maybe I'm the only small business that is not doing that good, because I tell you,
No, it's a continuous
it's a struggle every day.
Absolutely, it's a grind every single day. But you asked me,
But I
why.
miss that struggle if I don't have it.
Well, sure.
I
Why?
will
Because part of the reason, that's part of being an American,
I
right?
retired twice.
We have the
And
idea that we can do better, that there's opportunities, and that there's more, and we have that, capitalistic
Yeah, but you know what,
ambition.
Irma, let me tell you, you know me for a little bit now. I remember I was, 14, 15 years old when we met.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, we'll go
let
with
me,
that one.
Let me tell you something. Right now, honestly, it's not about the money. If I can cover my expenses, I think what I'm doing with this newspaper and this radio station, it is fulfilling a need in the community for another voice, to give other people the opportunity, like him. He has a, a court case that is unbelievable, corrupted, and he's here. He's putting his
Time.
time, and he's putting his case out there for people to know about it. And then I got another guy that has another, and unfortunately he left town, but he also have, and I think that voice that I'm giving the people, it is important for people to realize that the government is not as pure, as innocent as they pretend to be.
Well, of course, and it's very unfortunate. I mean, I have a different perspective because I studied political science, and so, my perception of government is, different than your average person, and yes, I mean, it's good that people feel hopeful about their government because, that creates stability in any society, and that's incredibly important. But at the same time, we have to be vigilant to make sure that we don't become a corrupt society because, that is
We
very,
are a corrupt society.
well, and I mean, when you have a human component, you're gonna have that because there's a lot of money involved, and so there's a lot of room for that to occur, so.
I just finished writing the editorial for for today. Today is Wednesday. The paper's coming out today. I finished the editorial, and I write about that. I write about the court system. Why do we have to call the judges your honor, the honorable? Half of them are not honorable at all. So we need to stop calling honorable. We need to stop rise. Why are we gonna rise to somebody that is gonna sit there and commit a crime?
Well, why don't we start the other way around?
Okay.
Why don't we just,
Well, it's too late. The editorial is coming out in 2 hours.
no, well, as a society, let's just go the other way around. Let's just make sure that we hold them to the ethical standards that, we should expect, in this
How do
United
we do
States of
that?
America. You just have to stay vigilant, but, because, we do have to have a certain level of respect and order in any society.
Right, but if they fail and they don't have integrity
You have to
anymore,
call
how do
them
you
out,
respect?
you have to call them out.
And then they call you anti-government, anti-police, anti-this,
Plant
anti-that.
drugs on you,
Radical,
plant drugs on
crazy.
you, arrest you, throw you in jail.
It's.
Dictatorships, they just throw you in jail because they don't like you. Over here, all they do is plant like a little bit of this or that on you and throw you in jail because they don't like you. What's the difference?
Well, I would still say that this is the best country in this
Oh,
whole entire globe.
Nobody
Not
argues
to
that.
say-
But they're rapidly becoming not.
Well, and that's
You-
why society and citizens need to stay vigilant of their elected officials. Listen,
And that's my point with this enterprise.
I
That's my point. People need to get more
For
involved.
example,
We need
the
to-
Judiciary Discipline Committee, they're supposed to be in charge of making sure the judges follow certain ethics that are established. And they're called, whatever. Well, when you go to the Discipline Committee to make a complaint, who are you complaining to? On the panel, there are 3 judges.
sure they're calling.
There are 3 lawyers, which are in the system, that have to work for their living in the system.
Right.
And a lawyer can't go against a judge and expect to get a good ruling in front of that judge. So he's gonna, whatever, let's just all play ball here so we can all make money here, right? And here's a donation for your campaign and all this stuff. And then they have 3 supposedly lay people, they call them, on the commission. But these lay people are dependent upon the very people that they're supposed to be overseeing.
Yeah,
So it's
just-
completely a corrupt policy that doesn't work. So the people have to take over that. The system's there. We, as the people, have to elect people to go on that panel and get rid of the lawyers, get rid of the judges, and get rid of these so-called laymen. We'll say who the laymen are, and we'll put a librarian, we'll put a teacher maybe, and we're gonna put community members on that committee, and then we'll have real oversight
In the
of
end,
those judges and those lawyers, and not people in the system.
in the
It doesn't
editorial, I
work.
suggest that
It
maybe
doesn't work.
lawyers should not be able to donate to the campaign of the.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
that's very problematic. I've always thought that was a very sleazy
It's
approach
corrupt.
to
It's a payback. It's a
one
way to
hundred
do
percent.
donations.
It's really incredible.
Well,
Yeah, that
That's
part I don't
stupid.
understand.
That is stupid. Because, okay, well, I need your good judge, I need your ruling to bring it on. Otherwise, I'm gonna go broke. None of my clients are gonna win.
Don't you think that's part of the attraction to Donald Trump is the fact that he
Absolutely.
has basically pulled down a lot of people's pants throughout
And
this
everybody should just say,
process.
you know what? To have a businessman, we've heard people say, we need a businessman to run this country. We've heard that for decades. We need a businessman, we need a businessman. But we never thought we'd get a businessman like a Donald Trump who doesn't need the people to buy him and pay him off
Well,
and this
that's
and that.
that's the
And that's the biggest
discomfort, and that's the
advantage.
discomfort that the establishment on both
They're
sides.
scared to death
On
of it.
both sides.
We as people should have common sense and say, you know what? Just give it to them. Thank God someone like that has finally shown up that's not gonna be subject to all the corruption and all the graft and all the crap that's been coming
See,
down.
Bernie-
Finish your thought.
See, Bernie Sanders was doing that for the Democrats. However, it took on our side. I mean, we had 17 contenders. He had to take out 16. I mean, Bernie was only dealing with 1. Okay, but it really took somebody like Donald Trump, to King Kong his way through and get it done, because, and that, I think that is the attraction, at least on the Republican side for somebody like Donald Trump, is that, he's able to call it the way that he sees it and hold people accountable to certain behavior,
But
right?
common sense is so lacking that the average person can't see that and say, you know what, there's gotta be something to this guy that makes that possible. And what is it? It's because he's saying the truth. And these people don't know how to deal with the
Well,
truth.
I think.
Yeah, it's a
I
little
saw-
shocking.
I think people are getting tired of seeing all these people that we elect to different offices, and once they are there, they change to a nice black suit and walk around like, how dare you looking at me, you know?
But then they don't do what they said they were gonna do.
And
They've got
you'll
a lot.
never be able, they're too busy to talk to you. When they're running for their job, they go to you, they do anything they have to do to get the job.
Sure, that's ugly politics, but I'll tell you, as somebody that has worked within the political system for, quite some time and has met and heard all of the political speeches you can possibly imagine on both sides, by the way. The canned speeches,
Oh, yeah, sickening.
the empty speeches. I mean,
Hope and change.
politicians that really don't know what they are really talking about, and you can see it. There's no substance there, and so after a while, you just get completely fed up, and of course, I've heard more than the average person, but look, the average person is also fed up, with all of this empty speech. So here we are, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
When this guy was running around saying, hope and change, what hope, what change did we want? We were the leader of the world at the time. We had the best standard of living. We had everything going for us, the highest GNP. What is it that we wanted to change? What was he talking? What?
Especially in Las Vegas.
Well,
we found out what he wanted to change. He wanted to ruin this
city of
country.
them all.
That was a change he was talking about.
He wanted to what?
Ruin this country. That's
Ruin
the
this
change that he wanted.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't believe that. I'm one of those that I don't believe that anybody goes into office, especially at that level, to ruin a country. I don't. I mean, I don't believe that. Now, whether he did or didn't, that's a whole different story, right? But people are fairly optimistic about what they think that they can accomplish, is what I have found on both sides, Republican and
Well,
Democrat.
you think that way because you have been lucky. You never live in a country that is a communist country like I have.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah, so I have
That's
the
the way.
luxury
That's the
of
way.
seeing things in a different way.
Some candidates
Some
do
people
have the.
do go to office.
You've seen the
to
slippery
rule.
slope, and then
Some
all of a
candidates
sudden you're
believe in that, and then they get to, let's say, Washington, to pick it, they go out to lunch with the establishment. When they get there, they get their
the
envelope
system
right
is.
away, and then they find out, you know what, I can't do anything about what I thought I was gonna be able to do and make this
It's not
better,
gonna happen.
because it's not gonna happen.
It's
Because the
not
whole
gonna
system
happen.
is so broken.
Yeah, it's not
happen.
gonna happen unless you have, again, somebody like, somebody like a business person,
Who doesn't need an envelope,
who does not need that.
and he's there
He can-
to really
he can
make
actually-
change.
Say it.
Yeah.
Don't need an envelope.
No,
He's there to make
exactly.
change. Why would Trump do this?
No, he can.
He's going there
He
to
has
make
the
the
luxury
damn
to be able to
changes.
get up
And we
and
should all
walk
say,
out.
thank
I
you,
was telling
just give it
I
to him,
was
let's not
telling-
wait for Obama to leave, let's just give it to him now.
I was telling
know?
him the other day that Donald Trump is the national Oscar Goodman. Oscar Goodman didn't need the job of a mayor. He had the money, he got the popularity, he has the power,
Okay.
okay? And look at that, he expressed himself, he fought with John Raston, he fought with the Review Journal. As a matter of fact, the Review Journal wrote an article before he got elected, anyone but Oscar, and then the Tribune came out with no one but Oscar, okay? But Oscar Goodman didn't need the job, and he used to call the press conference then nobody else had. Every week he meet with the media, and he tell them the way he feel. If you don't like it, there's the door, my friend.
Because you know why? Because doers don't ask for permission. Doers just go out and do. And they say, get the heck out, excuse me,
And yeah,
I'm here to get this done, and please, unless I call on you
And
to
I
do something,
I think, in my personal opinion, the only thing that Oscar Goodman have run in his life, that he was a Democrat. But he was,
But did
he
anybody
is-
really attach that to
he
him?
was
Nobody
the,
really
no,
knows that.
he's an independent now.
Well, that's
And,
what I mean. Who really knows what he is?
I mean, to me, he's the best mayor that Las Vegas ever had.
Well,
He built
didn't
downtown.
fall for
I
the-
mean, your restaurant, the other restaurant was doing very good when he was there. Isn't it?
Oh, yes, 100%. And I'll tell you,
Okay.
even the current mayor.
I don't go
yeah.
there, but, oh yeah, but
It was the same
she's the
thing.
continuation of.
Yeah, she's very good and
She's
she's very
a Hillary
into-
Clinton, like the,
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton's a national.
And I think,
This is
I
good.
tell you, I don't know
Not
if
really.
your former restaurant is still open or not, but I think it's the only thing I would like to see the Goodman do, separate themselves from that restaurant. Because
Which restaurant?
the one that you used to have before with your ex, because,
Oh, it's not there anymore.
oh no?
No.
Oh, so what happened to him?
Oh, I have no idea.
No?
No.
Good, I'm glad to hear that.
No. Next
He
subject.
disappeared. Okay, so we don't need to waste airtime on him. You
Yeah.
know, I don't care for him, so I'm glad to hear that. But that was the only thing, because I like to go to places where Oscar is, and I like to, even if I don't participate, like coffee with the mayor and stuff like that. And I didn't go there because I didn't like the place. I didn't like the atmosphere, I didn't like the owner, I didn't like it. You know, I don't, how many times I went there when you was there? Twice.
Yeah, I think so.
Twice.
Yeah.
Because I love you, but I don't like him.
Well, now
Then
you
she'll
don't have
say,
to worry
join the
about
club.
it.
Huh?
Now you have a place where you can go that where I'm there, so you can come visit me anytime.
Oh, okay.
I think the country needs to be run more like a business. Now, if you're an owner of a business, and you wanna hire someone to run your business for you. If you're smart, what you'll do is you'll hire the best person you can find, and you'll give him the authority and the rope and stay out of his way. And you'll see how he does. Now, at some point, if he's not doing a good job and the numbers aren't right, then you get rid of him.
You get rid of him.
Right.
But what do we do with the president? We elect him and then we stick 400 congressmen, 100 senators in his face. Half of them are gonna complain about what he does. The other half maybe support him or not, or fractionize. We run it completely opposite of a business. You can't run a company where half your people are against you and half of them are for you. It won't work.
Well, let me
It
ask
won't
you,
work.
I think sorry for interrupting you. I think that Donald Trump would be the only type, or the only person that could get away with, for example, if he were president and a certain congressman or senator voted against a particular something.
He'll take a walk to his
He-
limousine and 5,000 people.
He would call him out,
Yeah,
during the
exactly right.
press, with the press, and say, look, this congressman voted against this because this company is giving them this donation, giving them this money, and so and he would call them out
Yes,
in
he
that
would.
particular way. I don't see any other political character.
Does
It
it
would
depend
do
upon
that.
the system too much?
So,
That's why we need them. That's the business I'm talking about. We
and
need
it's not
run
to
it
say
like
that
a
I
business.
agree with everything that he says. I have disagreement on certain policies.
like what?
Well, the immigration, actually, it's a little complex, it's not as easy as, kicking out, 12 million.
He's never said that. He said you have to have a policy that goes in that direction. You're not gonna round them all up like the Democrats say. Well, you can't round up 12 million. What are you gonna send a bus? You're not gonna do that.
So
No, you
as
have a
long as he doesn't
policy.
do something like that,
Yeah, but
because
let me
I don't
tell
think
you,
that's realistic.
What happened
right?
is everybody
No, that's not what he
used the immigration issue to their convenience, okay, including the same immigrant illegals. Okay, they said we are tired to live in the shadows. What shadow, Irma? What shadow? They driving a $200,000 truck. They got a job. I got a lady the other day on TV They went to Washington, D.C. My father has been in the same job for 20 years. Well, if you are in the shadow, you don't work in the same place for 20 years. Okay? They have a bank account, they have a driver's license, they have, what else they have that we didn't have when we came here? I don't remember. Whatever. They don't live in the shadow.
Well, maybe that's not the proper way to describe that.
No,
I
but
can't.
that is the activists, the American, the Anglo activists that put the words in their mouths so they can say that and repeat that.
No, look, I believe that this is a humanitarian issue, okay? Again, it's a very complex subject. I'm sympathetic to their plight. Believe me, anybody that is struggling and, their plight is, when you start listening to some stories, they're really heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
However, they have to understand, we have to understand that we have to have order in this country, and we have to immigrate and in an orderly fashion. It doesn't matter if I have a 5-bedroom home. I could be the nicest person in the world, but I only have a 5-bedroom home, right? I can't. How many people could I fit in before everything starts breaking down, and then I can't help anybody, right? So for the good of everybody, I just believe that it is, they have to respect that there's,
Let me tell you,
a way to come in and out.
this is my way of looking at this thing, and this is probably the very first time that I talk to somebody that is descent, Mexican descent, because even though you were born in the United States and you are an American and you don't have to have a visa and everything, you still have feelings for your grandparents and your great grandparents, and then you feel
Well, it's our heritage.
right.
So-
You have the thing. But let me explain this to you. My thing is this. Most of the Mexicans have been brainwashed saying that this is their land and the American people took it away from them. But this is the way I, as an outsider, see it. I sell you this piece of paper for $5, and you said, no, I give you $1. Okay, if I take your dollar and you take that piece of paper,
The transaction
it's
is
not
complete.
mine anymore.
Exactly, it's complete.
Okay, in my opinion, the Mexican people that
Well,
are
that's a ridiculous argument that I had, not yours, but it's done.
if tomorrow, if
They gave it
tomorrow,
away fair and square. And
if tomorrow the president or the Congress or whoever it is, let's say the president, it's easy, wake up in the morning and say, okay, Mexicans, I'm gonna give you your land back. And they start doing Utah, Nevada, Arizona, California, New Mexico, Colorado, Texas, Mississippi. Every Mexican in here will move to North Carolina because they want to be in the United States. They don't want to be in Mexico.
those who are here for that reason, absolutely, and I mean, just look at the northern part of Mexico. Okay, the border towns of Mexico, like Tijuana, like Juarez. So if that would be the case, they're talking about moving the border further north. It's just gonna look more like Tijuana and Juarez. It's gonna be more of that. It's not gonna be.
Bigger Tijuana.
That's a bigger Tijuana. And hey, did you hear though that the Mexican president said that he might call his people back? It's been
So,
circulating
right
in
there.
the social media.
Right there is the point. Trump don't need to send them back. The president will call them back. You hear that? The president said it, Donald
I
Trump.
heard what she said, I haven't heard that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's been circulating
It
on
is in my
social media,
Facebook.
but I mean, really, how much money do they get from having
Let's
folks
be
here and
realistic.
sending money
How
back
many
home?
people will listen to their president? They
The
don't.
president of Mexico would rather have the people coming over
President
here
of
and
Mexico.
sending money back to mommy and daddy and cousins, and
100%.
that's what they want.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
100%.
That's part of the problem.
let's go back to Las Vegas. Let's go back to Nevada. Any political aspiration for Irma Aguirre?
None
Why?
none whatsoever.
Why? Do
We've
you
heard that
realize-
before.
Do you realize that you will be an asset to not only to the city, or to the county, whatever you choose to run for, but you also be an asset to your heritage, your people, to us.
Well,
What you got against her so much, you wonder?
yeah, well, I thought you
Gee,
liked
what
me.
did she do to
Are
I
you
you?
trying
like you.
Why
That's
are
why
you trying to
doing.
push me into that cesspool?
Because I think
Why?
you will be an asset.
She would be, but it's a
To us.
cesspool.
Well, this is the way that I
We need to start fixing the pool
Okay.
from the beginning. It's like I
Right.
tell people,
You need to be
they
an
talk about
outsider to fix
nationwide.
it.
No, we cannot talk nationwide. We have to fix Las Vegas,
But you
and
need
then
to be
we
an
fix Las
outsider. You
Vegas.
can't fix it from the inside. It's unfixable from the inside.
Listen,
You
I
have to be an
have a
outsider.
little small restaurant that I'm very passionate about. I employ 8 people, and that's probably 8 people more than any politician will ever create, you know?
That's for sure.
Wow.
So I'm
Wow.
fine. So, you know, I
No,
just,
no, not at all.
no, I have no interest in it, you know?
Okay,
It's a
who you
cesspool.
like? Who would you like in our community as Latinos to see involved in politics? That doesn't mean that he or she will be,
Latinos?
Yeah. And
See,
let me tell you, my opinion is you don't need to be a Latino to work for the Latinos.
well,
I-
that I was just gonna say that because, well, something like that. I don't look at things through those types of lenses at
No,
all.
I don't either.
You know, I just feel, you know, I look at people as human beings, whether you're competent or whether you're not. I can care less if you are Hispanic, if you are Black, if you are Asian, it doesn't matter to me. Can you do the job? You know, are you a BSer or can you actually get things done, you know? And so, you know, I try to stay away from race-based things, you know?
Yeah.
I just, it's
Yeah, but
something that I.
unfortunately, my dear, you might want to try to stay away from that, but the people would not allow you to be away from the race base. People don't, because people act that way. I have a friend, and every time I talk to
I'm
her,
not dismissing it, I'm just saying that, you know, it just,
I have a friend, and every time she says something about, my black friend. What is your black friend's name? Give me a name, and let's direct to that person as, or, my Mexican friend. We went to that Mexican restaurant. They invite me to go to that Cuban restaurant, then I will not mention the name, and I don't go to that place. I don't.
oh, yeah, no, what about, reverse racism, right? Because, you know, if I support, you know, Donald Trump, you know, now all of a sudden I'm a, you know.
You're an anti-Mexican.
No, I'm a self-hater, apparently, you know,
Oh.
apparently that's a thing, I guess, you know. Yes, apparently, that's the only way that I could possibly, you know, support him is if I self-hate myself, and that's the reason why I'm,
Well,
no, but here's my answer to
I
that,
guess I
okay?
hate myself too.
And
Because
and they tell me, you know, I hear people say, you know, how could you, you know, how are you not insulted by what you said? And I tell them the following: I'm more insulted by the pandering towards you know,
You mean the
Hispanics
hot
and
sauce in
Latinos.
your purse, Hillary?
You know, no, I love when she had, I think she had an ad, I think it was last time she ran, and in Spanish, you know, she's like your abuela, you know, like your grandmother, right?
Mhm.
Like she's like your grandmother. No,
Give me a
excuse
break.
me,
Yeah.
my abuela was not flying around in a jet,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
My abuela, I mean, I couldn't believe this.
Taking $10 million from the Saudis.
I think that is
She did that?
insulting. What I find,
It is.
what I
Having,
find-
It is insulting.
having hot sauce
I
in your
didn't hear
purse is an insult. to who she was meeting with.
I should ask
That's
her.
a slap in their face, because they know it's phony.
Can you imagine if Donald Trump would have done that?
Oh my God, you know.
You know, I mean, give me a.
I don't feel no harm.
The
She
reason
starts
that I
with a
like Donald
dialogue.
Trump is because he tells things the way it is. The
Yeah,
way
he's
he
not politically
sees,
correct.
he's not worried about hurting anybody's feeling. I'm sorry, you know, that's the way I feel about it. I believe people are tired already of the black suit and being politically correct all the time. You know, they have to measure what they say. They have to be careful how they say it, and he don't care how he say it.
Well,
he say it.
you know, to a certain extent, we should care because this is a civilized society, right? I understand that, but at the same time, there's certain things that need to be said, and sometimes it might not come out as.
Like
clearly as
somebody
good.
told me the other day, he's a crook. Well, we have crooks in government since I can remember. Crooks are crooks.
What bank did he ever rob?
Huh?
Banks have tried to rob him. I don't know what banks he ever robbed.
Well,
He declared bankruptcy on what, an 18% loan called a junk bond? They were called junk bonds for a reason. They were junk. But it was created by Jimmy Carter's presidency when the inflation went through the roof because he didn't have a clue what the hell he was doing. So you get a loan because you have to whatever you're doing, and then it comes time to renegotiate the loan because the whole market's changed. I remember being in Houston when the oil industry collapsed. People were moving a couch from this side of the street and the other people were moving across. The banks made the people change houses. And it was the same bank. The bank owned both houses, but they made the people change because they were going to lower the payments to get people to stay in the houses. But they didn't want to go and just say, stay there, and you stay there, we'll readjust your loan. They weren't big enough to do that. They made the people move their furniture. So you had people moving from house to house, you know,
That makes
because
no
that's,
sense.
no, it doesn't, but there's the bank doing that. The people would have stayed in their own houses, but the bank made them do that because they're stupid. But you could have bought a house on the golf course for $70,000 back then because the banks blew it. They got too greedy. And nobody could pay them anymore, so they had to renegotiate. Like this thing with China. They've devalued their money, right? Well, doesn't that devalue the loan of 1.5 trillion that we owe them? And Trump, I bet you $1 he's going to go renegotiate that baby the minute he gets in the power, because we have the power to renegotiate.
Well,
People don't understand that. Do you think Obama for a second even he doesn't even know what he's talking about?
Did you guys hear this morning the speech that Hillary gave on the economy?
Parts
No,
of it,
I didn't.
yeah, parts of it.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
you have to.
Oh, it's a joke. It's sick.
You know, well, you know, it kind of delineates, you know, where she's going to be going and the things that she's going to be talking about.
so what is your take of that speech?
Well, you know, the problem here is anything that comes out of her mouth, I just don't believe. So, you know, it could be a very,
So why listening?
what's that?
Why listening? I didn't listen. I watch
Because I'm a
I
news
watch
junkie, I
Outnumbered.
watch everything.
I watch Outnumbered every morning, and that's why they took Outnumbered to put her in there, and I just left. You know.
I think
Oh,
she
no,
said
you
something
definitely
about the
need to
three
listen to
biggest
it.
things,
But
problems that
anyway,
we face. One of them was global warming, of course. But the other interesting one was something about the European problem, whatever it is, that it's the economy in Europe is what she was talking about. But that came up on her teleprompter. And she not for 1 second knew what was coming out of her mouth. Because she's not smart enough to know what she's saying and how it's going to be interpreted. She's not that smart. So she said that. Everybody's now wondering, what the hell was she referring to? Because it's the same policies here that have caused Europe to collapse. It's the same things that her and Obama were proposing. And it came out of her mouth. Kind of like she's in coal country saying she's going to put all the coal miners out. She doesn't have any concept of what she's saying. Debbie Blabbermouth-Schultz, the head of the DNC, when was asked a question with all this super
Is she
delegates.
finally gone or is she
Not
still
yet,
in?
yeah, I'll never get rid of her yet. But talking about the super delegates, what are the super delegates, someone asked her. And this dumb blabbermouth blabbered it right out. Well, the reason for that was we didn't want to have any grassroots movements like maybe a Tea Party or something like that take over where they dictated to the
So it's
Democratic Party.
rigged, yeah.
Yeah, so it's fixed.
Yeah.
So she said it was fixed. I mean, and that's what it is. That's the whole reason for it. But she's so stupid, she doesn't realize what she's saying is exactly what she shouldn't say.
Well, to a
No,
certain
not that
no,
smart.
we are the stupid to
Oh.
allow that
Yeah.
stupid woman to talk.
Yeah.
It's the
Well,
same way how they
What are
changed
you gonna do?
the election system, the way that they wanted to do it to control the people. We should have never allowed that.
Well,
Never.
I don't know.
allowed.
Rush Limbaugh says you gotta let these people talk so we know what kind of dinosaurs they are.
Yeah.
Let them talk, then you know what the stupid they are.
Anyway, let me go back to Las Vegas.
Again?
The El Sombrero Bistro, right?
Mexican bistro.
Mexican Bistro. You open every day but Monday.
Sundays and Mondays right now we're closed for the summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the
Oh,
fall.
so you can go to Marina del Rey?
Right? We have to cool down a little bit. My
Yeah.
gosh, this
You
heat
leave
is.
You leave in Saturday night?
No, I'm leaving tomorrow morning as soon as I can.
Tomorrow?
Before it even closes.
Tomorrow? Is you gonna be closed tomorrow?
No, my staff will be there for sure.
I know, but your staff is not the same. When people go in there and
She's
they
been
see
back for one day.
My
beautiful
staff
woman.
is fabulous.
You were closed yesterday.
Yes.
So you're back for one day and now you're leaving.
Right.
She's my idol.
See, that's the kind of schedule I want.
idolize her.
In the summer, that's what I want to do.
Hey, let me
Marina
tell you
del Rey.
something. In the restaurant business is such a tough business. I usually go months without a day off. And so whenever I can sneak a few days here and there, and I sneak them in during the summertime when it's a little bit on the slower side.
I'm thinking
Yes.
about that because this
It's
weekend,
120 people don't want to eat.
this weekend I
Get
cannot
out.
go. This weekend I cannot go, but I leave Friday afternoon.
Do you have a place in, Marin? Oh, so you commute back and forth? Yeah, well, I used to live in Los Angeles.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I don't.
I went to school out there
Los
and I lived there
Angeles.
for a dozen years.
Los Angeles, that's what, no, I go to Marina del Rey.
Oh, excuse me, I lived in Manhattan Beach and Redondo Beach
Oh,
and
my
Hermosa
God.
Beach, so that's what
I
I mean
got
by
a lot
Los
of friends.
Angeles.
I got a lot of friends, they used to work for Playboy, from Redondo Beach.
Oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, no,
Not as gorgeous
I live
as
in
Santa
Santa-
Barbara and
I live in Santa
Carmel.
Monica now. I don't live in Marina del Rey anymore.
Oh, Santa Monica.
Santa Monica has a rent
Ooh,
control.
you have big bucks.
Santa Monica has rent control.
Yes, it does. Excuse me, aren't you contradicting yourself here?
What?
What do you think about rent control? You think that that's a good idea?
No, but if I can use it right now,
Listen to
I'm a
yourself.
poor Cuban refugee. I need to get this rent control. Why, you have property in Santa Monica?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
So, no, I don't know.
But rent control
I don't
is
know.
terrible.
It is.
She would be in Malibu, not Santa Monica. She'd be just right next door.
Yeah.
Malibu.
You know, maybe if they have rent control in Malibu,
Malibu.
I'll totally take them up on it.
Anyway, Irma, thank you for being here
Well, thank you for
today.
inviting me.
I enjoy having you here, and you always is.
There will be a lot of opportunity to banter back and forth as this election progresses.
I
It's just,
know.
it's going to
I
be a
know.
difficult
And,
one, right?
I have a
When do you
friend-
think Hillary's going to have her health problem?
She's gonna have one.
Oh, yeah, any little
every
ripple at all,
politician
she's going to.
has a-
She went to her doctor the other day and he said, you have this condition, we have to take care of it, and you just can't continue in this campaign effort, you're gonna have to. Any ripple at all.
Do you
If the FBI or something starts hitting the fan there, she's gonna make a health problem.
I don't think anything is gonna happen.
It may
with
not,
her
but I'm just
right
saying if it does, or anything at all goes, if she
I
has a debate, a really, really bad debate,
I
where they
am-
have to take her off the stage with a
I
flame,
am
you know,
a
whatever.
cynical.
Well, this is
Yeah.
Las
Then I
Vegas,
have
let's
a
make a
health
bet.
problem.
Let's make a
Then I have a
bet.
health problem.
I am as cynical as Irma is. I don't think anything gonna happen to her.
Yeah, then we got a bad
We
country.
need to not elect her, that's all. My name is Rolando Larraz, and I'm responsible for every word that I say in this show today.
Wow.
So, have a nice day, enjoy yourself, and Irma, have a nice trip.
And happy Tuesday, don't forget, today is Taco Tuesday.
Oh, it is?
Oh.
$2 tacos all
Where?
day, $5 margaritas all
Where?
day
At
at the
the-
El Sombrero Mexican
Oh, really?
Bistro. Yes.
Well, you should have mentioned that a long time ago. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Rolando.
Let me see if that was the judge coming. I hear my phone ringing.